Next up on my Steam library, I'm playing Rogue Legacy. Rogue Legacy is a rogue-lite combat platformer. It's kind of set the standard for these kind of roguelite games. It came out in, I think, 2013, but a lot of games have tried to follow it. It's obviously based on the original Rogue, the original ASCII dungeon crawler game, but obviously it's updated with somewhat better graphics than the old ASCII graphics. But it keeps some of the same premises, like permanent death, procedurally generated dungeons, and a sort of progression that carries on between deaths to improve your character each time, or enable you to buy upgrades so that your next run after your last death should be hopefully easier than the last. The way it's set up is that each time you die, the next run you go on, you are an heir of the person that's just died, and you get to pick from 3 options. Each one is kind of randomly generated. It'll have like different classes that you've unlocked so far, and different traits for that character that could be funny or sometimes highly not very beneficial or highly beneficial. It depends on how you play. Like some characters have low hit points, high mana, low hit points. Some characters are immune to knockback. It's all there explained on each character, and you kind of have to pick what one of the 3 you want to go with and adjust your kind of play style accordingly. It is quite a tough platformer, I think. I mean, I'm not very good at platform games, and they're not my favourite, but I found it quite tough, and I was dying a lot, but I didn't find it frustrating, because, you know, like with these roguelike games, you die, alright, no big deal, die, new character, start again. The way it's set up for as far as the upgrades and that go is after the end of a run, you'll have come out with a certain amount of gold, hopefully, if you've well, even if you've busted a few bits of furniture, you usually get some gold pieces. So, but every enemy you've killed will leave you gold and chests and things you find, and you use those gold pieces to buy upgrades for your next character. Upgrades could be to attack power, magic power, health, mana pool, lots of different things, and they can unlock. You can buy unlocks to new classes as well. So you can unlock like a barbarian class or a mage class, and that they will be available as heirs next time you die, or possibly available because it is random. And then you go to the next screen where you've got vendors that you can buy upgrades from as well. You've got a blacksmith where you can buy upgraded armor, weapons. You have to find the blueprints to these in the castle. So hopefully in a run in the castle, you might find a nice blueprint for a nice new sword or new helmet. That will be then available at the blacksmith to unlock and equip if you've got the gold for it the next time. There's an enchantress who will sell you runes. These are upgrades to your characters, a lot of them to your movement abilities. I've got one that will let me dash left and right, and one that will let me double jump in the air. There are lots of others. Again, these are found by finding the blueprints in the castle. Then after you died, they'll then be available at the enchantress for you to buy and equip if you've got enough gold. The last guy in the screen before you go into the castle is the architect. Now he can lock the castle in the state it was when you died. So if you want to go back to the same castle, the same rooms with the same enemies, you can ask him to lock the castle in that state and go back. The snag is he will take a large percentage of your gold for that run in payment for doing it. This is particularly beneficial if you want to practice a boss fight. There are boss rooms. If you found a boss room and you've gone in and you've died fighting the boss and you want to go back and give it another shot, try and learn the boss's abilities and have another crack at killing it, you can ask the architect to lock the castle, and then you can go in and you can teleport then straight back to the boss room and have another crack at the boss, and you can keep doing that until you've learnt the boss's abilities and finally kill it, hopefully. But the biggest snag is that to get back into the castle, there's a gatekeeper, and you have to give him all of your remaining gold to get back into the castle. Now, whether that's 1 gold piece or 500 gold pieces, he takes it all. So that's payment to get back in the castle. So you want to spend all the gold you possibly can each time before going back into the castle. If there's nothing you can buy, so say you've got 200 gold and there's no upgrades you can buy for 200 gold, and there's no equipment or anything like any wounds or anything you can buy for 200 gold, you're just going to have to give the 200 gold to the gatekeeper and get back into the castle. So gold can't be carried over multiple runs. You get the gold you end the run with, you spend it on upgrades, and then you have to give the rest to the gatekeeper to get back in. How much gold you get on a run is pretty random. It's going to depend a lot, obviously, on how good you are, how far you get, and what you find, because just collecting gold from smashing up random bits of furniture and killing enemies isn't very lucrative. But if you find nice chests, you get like 200 gold in a chest, and that's really cool. But yeah, it kind of depends on what you find. So the game's full price is $10.99. I think that's pretty reasonable, quite cheap. If you like these kind of games and you're good at platform games, you get a lot of value out of that $10.99. You're going to play it for a lot of hours. If you're not so good at platform games, or you just want to take a punt, you're not sure, take a chance, then wait till it's out on a Steam sale, about 50% off, and that should be great. So that's Rogue Legacy, really classic roguelite combat platformer.